Alrighty, good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. We're here, we kind of gave you guys blue balls last week, let's be honest. We said we were going to build a motor, put it in the GQ, and it didn't happen because we were waiting on some parts. A few delays as normal, but the motor's here, and I promise you in this episode, we're going to be assembling this thing. We've got all the bits we need. Mitch has gone to pick up the cab literally this morning, so hopefully in this episode, motor built, motor into cab, into chassis, assembled, and you'll see a car. The turbos will be going in. Got some wastegates from Go Fast Bits as well, so a few shiny bits and pieces go on this episode. Make sure to subscribe, guys. I've made this channel so we can build a community of people that love to build custom cars. So if you're not part of that, what are you doing? Subscribe, let's get into it. Here she is. Look at that engine. Now these parts aren't actually on properly yet. I just got a bit excited and started mocking some stuff up. So sorry about that absolute rave going on outside. Zach's building his Effie with music cranking, hitting hammers. I don't even know what he's doing. Anyway, you're gonna have to ignore that. Anyway, ProFlow have a ton of stuff. That's their billet timing cover. We've got a black water pump of their intake manifold. We'll get to all that. That stuff's just mocked up. It's not actually fully done up properly. But what we're gonna start with are the heads. Let me get a tripod stand. Right, so we've got the heads here, which we painted at the end of last episode with just some engine enamel, trying to black this thing out as much as we can. Now, what we're gonna do is upgrade the valve springs because we're putting a bigger cam in with a bit more lift. So we don't want the valves to float or anything. So these are some double row valve springs that I had off another build. They're still fine, and what that means is more spring pressure, which keeps those valves closed as the cam goes up and down. But by putting a stronger spring in, you're putting a lot more pressure on your rocker. And then the thing that fails on the factory rockers is the trunnions. Now what the trunnion is a little needle roller bearing that's actually in there. So this has got a bearing on it. Now what I've got here from ProFlow are complete OEM style rockers that have those trunnions already upgraded. So that was a pretty easy thing to do because I've changed these out before. You got to use a press and it's quite finicky and fiddly and takes a couple of hours. So that saves a bit of time there. So we've got the tool here to push out the valve springs, take the lockets, collars off, and we'll essentially change these out. And then we can go ahead and put our new rockers on, and then the heads are pretty much ready to be assembled onto the motor. So let's rip into that. The heads have been down, so these are obviously some springs I had off my last engine, but they have that little inner spring in there. So happy days, that job's done. Now we're pretty much, once the cam arrives, that can go in first, then the lifters, and then the lifter buckets, and then the head can go on. So we're waiting on that before we can go ahead with that stuff, but cab just arrived, which is good. Yeah, this is our party bonnet. That's just temporary. Oh yeah.
I have to explain. Alright guys, I'm not this bad at bodywork, just so you know. This is, I dropped a bonnet down at Rohan's, didn't even look at it when I bought it, it's completely fucked. So instead of fixing it, it's now going to be our party bonnet. So we're going to cut holes here and rip the exhaust and screamers out while it's off the road. Yeah, so it's not the final bonnet, I'm trying to find one right now. If you have a clean bonnet sale, let me know. We've got a grill from Panel House. Thanks to Randy from HR, he sorted this one out for us. Yeah, the brother from Current Affair, good on him, what a legend. If you need parts, guys, Panel House, they got everything. New cars, old cars, whatever you need. Hit them up, they've got it all. Now we're gonna use TXT, which is another one of our favorite products, which we did under the tub with. And we're just gonna use the TXT 1K because I couldn't be bothered spraying the 2K. We're just gonna use one of these to coat the underside of the wheel arches and stuff, take from stone chips and make it all look nice and fresh. So let's get on to that.
Alrighty guys, back on the engine here. So Mitch is out there spraying those bits of black. I'm gonna start assembling the engine. This morning, our cam arrived. We've got a plethora of cams here. So we've finally got the one we're using. So there's a factory one. This is one that I did have for my supercharged motor from High Torque, but we've swapped it out for one that's gonna suit the boost a bit better. This is their cranky 4 grind, okay? So we'll bang that in. Once the cam's in, then I can go ahead, put all the lifters and stuff back in, put the heads on. So we're gonna use a multi-layer steel head gasket. That's a GM one factory. That's the best if you wanna hold your boost in. And then we got these from VPW, some ARP head studs. So just a little bit of extra safety if you do wanna lift a head. Studs are the first thing you wanna do if you wanna keep that thing down. So get this all assembled, and then it will be assembled.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Make no mistakes about it. I don't want you.
Now, you put lots of engine assembly lube on your cam, and then in the comments, everyone will tell you that you didn't put enough engine assembly lube on your cam. It's always the way, trust me.
Blackened out, I see the light shining through the darkest night. True love waits as we go, burning down the line.
Alrighty, we've got most of the motor together. We kind of just got on a roll and started doing it. So I'll run you up to speed what we've got. So ProFlow, like I said, do a ton of stuff. We've got their billet valve cover and then their water pump also. This intake manifold's just sitting there for now. We're just having a little mock-up. Got some of these pretty cool little stainless studs for the exhausts, which are down here. The heads are done. It's always a little bit scary when you're doing up head studs. We had to go torque spec and then 90 degrees and then 70 degrees, and they just feel super tight. But none of them felt too bad. They're all done up. So now it's going to do the rockers. I already mentioned about the trunnion upgrade we're doing. We're going to be changing the complete rocker arms out for the ProFlow ones. And then once they're on, valve covers, manifold, it's pretty much engine done. We're waiting on just flywheel bolts as the last thing to actually be able to get the motor in the car with the gearbox. So we'll either chuck it in without that if they don't arrive in time, or we might wait a day or two to drop that in, but that's the next stage, get it sitting in the car.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
All right, guys, quick brief break in the episode, but don't skip this one because we're gonna give you guys the opportunity to win something that's worth $3,000 very easily. All right, we have the Delta 3 Max here, and we're gonna give you guys one of these things. So, quick description of what these are. It's like a portable battery setup. It pretty much takes over your entire setup in your canopy. They're honestly so sick. They've got inverters, charger ports, managers, Bluetooth app just works flawlessly. These are honestly such a sick unit for going off grid, and you can just take them down the beach. They're light, easy to carry around, and you can run absolutely everything off them. So if you guys want to enter, all you have to do, we're done with the paid giveaways. We've made our bread. Now it's time to give some bread back to you guys. Comment down below where you're going to take this thing when you win it on your first trip, and make sure to add the hashtag EcoFlow after your comment, and you're already in the draw. No money, no subscriptions, no more wankers giving you stupid ads on Facebook. So make sure you guys drop a comment where you'll go, hashtag EcoFlow, and let's get back into the video. All right, guys, time to put the motor in. It's getting super exciting. Don't know where Sammy is. I think he's down the back dealing with the septic tank right now. So prayers to Sammy, poor bastard. Anyways, time to put on the clutch and flywheel, and then we can marry these boxes up, marry the box to the motor and throw the motor in, put the cab on. Guys, we're nearly there. Melbourne show, T-minus 5 days. We've got to get this pretty much presentable. So clutch and flywheel, we've decided to go with Sam's old clutch out of his LS because it was like a custom built, fully hectic clutch. We got it machined, got it checked by Justin from Brake and Clutch, so thanks to him for that. Ordered some ARP flywheel bolts, they just showed up now. So we can throw the old clutch on. Well, it's not old, it's been refurbed and rebuilt. It's like one of those rebuildable clutches, it's an old thing. Well, let's put him on. I'm excited. I'm so keen to get this cab on. Let's do it.
AMG, Billy truck, trapping out the ghost. 7-figure payment, time is money, gotta go. Addicted to the game, the cake for the show. Met her at the party, she was playing with her nose. Big dog, I could get the highs and the lows. 5-star sweet, she ain't never going home. New Kelly Birkin.
It's the moment, guys. the one we've all been waiting for. Like I say, we put it in. Let's fucking do it.
Terrifying.
So scary.
Diamonds in my chain, go blind when they play. Diamonds in my chain, diamonds in my chain. Get out my face. Nacho's back, now you rocking a Bronny jersey. I been seeing them sirens when we're stopping on Jakes. We gon' go for a chase or something. More money, more problems, so give me the money, cause you know I'm a problem.
Alright guys, big milestone this afternoon. Motor is in, cab's dropped on top. It was really nice that we were able to actually do the engine first, have the cab off and put that on rather than trying to shoehorn it in there. So now there's a lot of unknowns. So the first thing, I haven't actually spoken about what turbos we got. So we got PSR, they sent out a couple of, basically the equivalent of like your G30. So fun fact, it is the exact same turbo that's on my drift car, except we're using 2 of them. So we've got a larger rear housing though, 1.01 housing rather than the 0.83. So they're gonna go roughly sort of here. This one's probably for the other side, but we need to somehow do a little 90 adaptation from the 3 to the 2.5. That's the first mission. Once turbos are mounted, then everything else goes around it. Now, shout out to PWR, they also did the intercooler for us, but it was about 6 months ago. We had no cab, no chassis, and it was a bit of a ballpark. And it's not gonna work exactly right, so we're gonna have to tweak that, modify them to get it in. But now it's sort of all the hard plumbing, hoses, intercooler pipes, exhaust, all of that to figure out. So it looks like a really nice clean engine bay now, which is sick, but once it starts getting filled with stuff, it's gonna get busy very quickly, and we wanna try and keep it super clean in here. So that's the plan, that's the mission. Hide what we can and show only the flash little bits and pieces. So ton of work ahead of us, but at least this here gives us motivation.
AMG, Billy truck, trapping out the ghost. 7-figure payment, time is money, gotta go. Addicted to the game, the cake for the show. Met her at the party, she was playing with her nose. Big dog, I could get the highs in the low.
Alright guys, so we're started to do the headboard here. I think years, many moons ago, you would have seen us making this. But now it's actually starting to come to life because we've got the cab and tub together. I can finally make it properly. So it's kind of like a wakeboard, wake rack inspired, kind of inspired off giveaway Silverado that we did, because that was inspired off Jordan McCarthy's Silverado. Anyways, trying to do something like that. So I've gone and made these. These are all individual pieces. Took days to do this and get it all nice, but then we're going to put a cross top, 2 tubes going down to brace it all, and then we're going to box all the top in and make it look like a proper wakeboard rack, so we can mount some nice speakers and shit up there. And I think it's just different. It's better than a box section headboard. You know, you see everyone do box section, oh, they add a little wing on top. That's boring to me. So I've tried to go something different, tried to go something crazy, and I think it's actually worked, and it suits this car really well. So I'll keep doing this, and you guys will see it when it's done.
Hey, leading the charge, team full of dogs, sinking our teeth in them, rip them all apart. Even when we was counted out, even the odds, leave it to God, even the odds, leading the charge, team full of dogs, sinking our teeth in them, rip them all apart. Even when
rolling. All right guys, believe it or not, it's been about 8 hours and we're still pretty much looking like we were before. I've fully boxed it in. Now the plan is weld it all out, blend it all up. We've squared it, drilled it into the table so she can't move. It's looking good.
All right, so you know, Mitch just said he spent 8 hours of the day and we didn't really feel much. I did one step worse, so apologies. I spent all day pretty much putting the turbos on and didn't film a single thing. That's all right. So we were gonna get the boys, Hyperfab, to just do the flash little bit of welding. But this weekend, guys, we're gonna be down at the Melbourne 4 Drive Show. So if you're down in Victoria, we're trying to get this thing half together for that. So we had no choice but to mount these, so we at least had turbos for the show. So I've gone and chopped off the headers and put a little 90 and then just tigged up all the adapters that we need to actually get the turbos mounted. So they're in. These little wastegates are gonna go roughly there, but we're probably not gonna get them on yet. So she ain't pretty, but she works. And this is roughly where we're at. So I think, look, if they clean up physically, like we give them a wash, it's probably gonna be fine. We're not gonna have to go and redo anything, but it works. That's fine. I think you've done a great job, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. All right. Hey! We didn't actually fit the bonnet, but the GQs have a bit of a hump here, and look, it looks low enough. So both the intake pipes shooting in. The idea is symmetrical, but here's another thing that we kind of forgot about. I built one, looked mint, built the other one the exact same. It was off by like 20 mil. And of course, a V8 engine, like every V8, the heads were offset, which means the headers were offset, which means the turbos will offset. So if you come to the show with a tape measure, yeah, it might be 5 mil off because the heads are off. So you got to compromise. Do you want your turbos the same?
They are fucking close.
They're pretty close. We did get it pretty close. Do you want them the same or do you want them to match the heads? At least they're on. All right, that's where we're at. See you at the show this weekend. All right, Mitch will be finished grinding that thing in the morning and then we'll show you that going on as well because it's been a big couple of days of welding and grinding everywhere.
A few moments later.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say at the end of that. We're going to put the guards on and the grills. So got these from Custom Fiber Parts. Boy Ross, bang them on.
Bad dog.
So obviously Mitch drilled the holes and everything for that before paint. And then the grill we got from Panel House. So fun fact, if you have a GQ grill, there's 2 series. We ordered indicators for our GQ Patrol and they don't fit this one. So if you've got 2 different series of grills, there are 2 different sizes of lights. It's like a very small difference. This thing here, it's like, oh God, it's out by like not much, but it doesn't fit. Been a big day. So tomorrow, come back and get the little sports bar on the back. That'll probably wrap this episode, but that's the final piece of the puzzle. It just looks a little bit too naked at the moment. Something on the back there.
All right, guys, we primed the headboard. We fitted it up just for a look. Now I'm going to drill some holes and mount the EcoX so we have a bit of a speaker. And we have to leave it in primer for now because we have to shoot down to Melbourne in literally 2 days. Go to the show there, go to the Sydney show. So not going to see the old girl for a little bit. So that's all for today's episode. Next episode, I don't know. I'll see you guys there.